Not really, no, because we started with Aguilar in Malta, so we filmed a lot of the sort of regression in that first stint there. We went back to Almeria in southern Spain to sort of film, I think, primarily the first regression. But we'd done regression 2 and 3 in Malta at the beginning, so I kind of filmed them in chunks. So started with Aguilar, and then we moved on to Callum's story. So they were pretty much separate. There was only a few times when Aguilar comes to Callum, and Callum's suffering from the bleeding effect, and so Aguilar is sort of coming to him in the present day, and teaching him in some way as well. So they were the only times that I basically was playing the two characters in the same day.
Okay. So did it help that like you were playing two different characters in very like different settings, actual locations, right?
Yeah, I always, in my head, I always imagined Abstergo with these neutral colors and these grays and sort of utilitarian sort of place, and then that we had the backdrop of the Spanish Inquisition, which has got all these sort of opulent sort of religious colors and reds. And I thought it would always be cool contrast to see these two worlds.
Okay. And in the film, you're almost constantly in action. You're either like fighting with swords, there's close hand-to-hand combat, and you're writing and you're performing parkour. I also read that you perform 95% of the action yourself.
Sure. I mean, I did a lot of the fights. Things like the leap of faith. Obviously, it was not me. Okay. And a lot of sort of building, jumping from one building to the other in Valletta in Malta, those sort of things I wouldn't do because just the danger of me twisting an ankle or even being able to do it. Certainly not a 120-foot leap of faith. But I did as much as I possibly could. So I would say the fights for sure, like 90%, 95, yeah.
So of the scenes that you've actually performed, what was the most difficult for you to perform in terms of action?
I think the second regression in the auto-da-fe was particularly hard, but that whole section in the auto-da-fe where we're getting burnt at the stake, or the attempted sort of burn at the stake. That was tough. Just the heat alone there, it sort of formed as a sort of heat basin, that little island that we were filming on, off the sort of main island in Malta. It just was so hot there. There was a lot of technical bits to that section. It was pretty tricky.
Right. And this is the second time you worked with the director Justin Kurzel as well as your co-star Marion Cotillard.
Yeah.
And how did your work with them in Macbeth help you in any way on this film, and was there anything different?
Yeah, for sure. You develop a shorthand. You know each other. Macbeth was such an intense experience, and it was so. It required a lot of trust in one another, for sure, with the material and what we were trying to achieve. So that had been done already, so the ice was broken well and truly, and we all knew each other. We had a lot of respect. We have a lot of respect for each other. And both Marion and I have, utmost faith in Justin. So it was a great, everyone felt a sense of confidence when Justin came on board.
Okay. And also I read that you guys filmed this movie without as little CGI as possible. How did that help you as an actor, and was there a scene that you thought that would require CGI that was actually used without it?
No, I mean, the idea that we wanted to do this because there's so many films that are this sort of fantastical genre or action genre that CGI is just so prolific, and we sort of personally, and I know Justin for sure, felt like we didn't want that. We're kind of tired of seeing it, so we wanted to go back to the old school way of shooting these things. So having stuntmen jump from building to building and have these stunts take place, in real locations, to have the actors doing as much as they could, and not shooting in the car park with green screens. That was very important for us.
Finally, could you say, because a lot of fans are waiting for you to come to visit Korea. You've never visited Korea, have you?
I haven't yet, but I will, yes.
So could you say hello to your fans in Korea who are also waiting for Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. Hello to everyone in Korea, and hope you enjoy Assassin's Creed.